You're listening to The Bird Bath. Welcome back to The Bird Bath. Each week we scrape the surface of the news you need to know, so let's get into it. First off, let's just go ahead and say gobble, gobble, gobble to everyone out there in Petland. It is Thanksgiving week, so I hope that you are listening to this episode around a nice toasty fire with a hot drink in your hand and maybe a turkey leg in the other, or for our vegan friends, a furkey, I guess is what you call it. I'm not sure, but hope everyone's having a wonderful Thanksgiving and taking time to really think back about the incredible year that we've had. There's been a lot of wonderful things in the veterinary industry that we have to be thankful for, and a lot of things that I think 2025 is going to bring for us to be even more thankful for as well. So just take a second to think about the overall good that we're seeing across the space. Now, it's a bit of a sharp departure, but our top story this week is about the relief network recruiting company, Evette. Evette, which was previously known as Vet IQ, is in some serious hot water with veterinarians all over the internet. Just last week, Elise Burns, the CEO of Evette, which brought in $35 million last year, admitted to creating a fake Facebook profile and using the name of a real veterinarian so that she could participate in private Facebook groups. Now, this is a hot one. This is a tough story to get through and really dig into. I did quite a bit of reading on different stories and different reporting that other sources were putting together, as well as reached out to some people that were directly impacted within some of these groups to understand really what the meat of the story is here. Now, just on face value, we've got a company that anyone that's been in the industry for a while knows the absolute breadth and depth and value of knowledge that lives in a lot of these Facebook groups. There's DVM Moms, there's a Not One More Vets Facebook group, there's technician groups, there's groups for talking about different softwares. And as a consultant, one of the things that I talk to a lot of my clients about is understanding what the pulse of these groups is saying about your business. Now, the things that I never recommend is creating a fake profile in order to gain access to these groups. There's a lot of companies that do participate in online Facebook groups, but they do so under their real company's name. The big issue here is that Evette, and in the apology letter that Evette sent out, the CEO, Elise Burns, said that she utilized the name of a real DVM, and some reporting from some of the Facebook group moderators are saying as well as verified with the DVM's license number in order to gain access to these Facebook groups. This went on for over 8 years. And the difficulty and the really hard part to stomach about this, so, it's never good to falsify your information. But it's another thing to utilize someone else's real information to gain this sort of access. Several sources and people within these groups are reporting that the fake Evette profile joined on to groups that were discussing mental health and well-being within the profession, one being Not One More Vets Facebook group, and that as different doctors would discuss their hardships within their current work environment, they would then be solicited to buy the Evette sales team and recruiting team to join the company as just sort of a coincidence of understanding that life can be difficult. So it's an icky feeling. It's not one that I think is great there. Evette did come out and send out a long statement claiming that they were a young startup when this happened, but it's not something that they stopped at any point until being found out up until just last week. So not great news, not something that we want to see, and a word of caution for anyone in the industry looking to gain that valuable insight and pulse of what's happening in the space, that truth and authenticity is what really matters to the veterinary community. So tough end of the year for Evette, and I'm going to be interested to see where the affected parties, the affected DVM whose information was used, as well as the groups that were accessed are going to go forward with this and what the repercussions will be for the long term for the company. So stay tuned. And if you were affected by any of this, let us know. We'd love to get some firsthand accounts as well from additional people just to hear your take on what happened here. Now, to bring us to some big news, Catterton, who you've probably heard of through many different private equity investments, is making a strategic investment in Evette, which is an independent veterinary practice group in Brazil. They operate 24-hour practices as well as diagnostic labs. And so they take care of a lot of animals all across the massive nation of Brazil. The company's been around since 2020. They expanded into practices and labs across Sao Paulo and Rio Grande do Sul. And their overall goal is primary and urgent care, surgery, diagnostics, specialty, and they work really heavily with what they call tech-driven model. So it's interesting, it's exciting to see that Catterton is doing an investment in the pet space in South America. They're very, very heavily invested in the North American veterinary space. They were previously behind Pet Vet Care Centers and had a successful exit there. They're invested in Alliance Animal as well as in Sploot. So really cool to see. In the press release, the team behind Evette said the Brazilian pet market remains highly fragmented, and we see ample opportunities to scale our model based on exceptional technology and service. That was the CEO and COO, Rodrigo Pinheiro, who's also the founder of Evette. What he said is, with Catterton's phenomenal expertise supporting successful pet-focused businesses globally, we are confident they can help Evette achieve world-class standards. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I've been trying to learn more. I feel like I'm always telling you guys all the things I'm trying to learn, but I've been learning a lot about the European market, but additionally learning more about the South American and particularly Brazilian market. It's a very interesting one, as they said in the press release here. It's very fragmented. It's not something that we've seen much consolidation rolling out. There's a lot of different paths to becoming a veterinarian in Brazil than there is in the US or the UK or across Europe. So the barrier to entry is lower to become licensed to practice, but the difficulty to be a practicing DVM is still extremely high. So very interesting spaces here to continue to see, and it's just going to add to the increased footprint that Catterton has in the vet care space. Our next story is less of a story and more of a call to action for anyone that is inspired by innovation and wants to continue to see our industry pushing forward. Now, as many of you that listen know, you knew a wonderful lady named Kelly Clay, who unfortunately I did not have the opportunity to know, but when she passed earlier this year, I was able to see just an incredible outpouring of people that were impacted by her compassion, her desire to improve our industry, as well as her desire to find innovative ways to care for our animals. And so in honor of Kelly, a group of her colleagues, as well as IDEX, have set up a special innovation award in her memory. The award is set to be presented to the winner of the 2025 VMX Startup Pitch Competition in January. And the award will not only celebrate ingenuity, but will serve as a reminder of Kelly's spirit. The recipient is going to have quite a bit of support, not only from the people that are contributing, but from people all across the industry. IDEX has actually stepped up and said that they'll be contributing to the initiative and will be inviting the winner of the startup competition to visit the IDEX World Campus, where they'll have the opportunity to present to members of IDEX leaderships, as well as tour the facility to get an inside look at one of the largest companies in our industry is doing. If you're at all interested in contributing, I'll make sure that I put a link to the GoFundMe. I know everyone behind this, as well as everyone that had the opportunity to know Kelly, is really passionate about finding a way to be able to continue her legacy. So check the link in the description to make sure that you can contribute to that. And even if you can't, be sure to share it on in case it reaches someone that does have the means to participate. Finally, I've got a really, really exciting event coming up on Tuesday, December 3rd at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm putting together a spicy panel of really, really, really intelligent and passionate people to discuss the mid-level practitioner position. As a lot of you know, Prop 129 passed in Colorado earlier this month, and it creates the veterinary professional associate's role, and if you're not familiar with that, think of it as a physician's assistant, but in the veterinary clinic. There have been a lot of people and a lot of funding and a lot of money pushing from both sides to whether they want to push it forward or stop it dead in its tracks. Well, the proposition did pass and it's going forward. So we wanted to bring together people from both sides of the debate to hear why they were opposed to it, why they want to see different changes, as well as hear from the people that were behind the positive benefits. People that wanted to see it moving forward, as well as ways that their curriculum is going to be able to create a long-term and sustainable position and career path for people in the industry. So we've got Dr. Gail Golab, who's the Chief Veterinary Officer with the AVMA. We've got Dr. Wayne Jensen, who's at Colorado State University, who is helping sort of spearhead the Masters of Veterinary Clinical Care program, which is the program that the proposition was sort of giving the green light to. Dr. Link Wellborn, who's the CEO of VMG, as well as the Chief Veterinary Officer at Covetrus, and Ashley Selke, who is a registered veterinary technician. She was the immediate past president of the North American Veterinary Technician Association, as well as she was on the legislative committee of the CVPA, which was the body and the group of people that were pushing to really make sure that this could happen. So it should be an exciting conversation. I'm never one to find panels where everyone just agrees with each other. So I'm hoping to get some in-depth, some passionate debate going and some stories and some ideas of why different people are going on it. So whether you're excited about this, whether you're fearful of it, whether you don't even know what I'm talking about, be sure to register. You can go to thebirdbath.io to register. You can also register on our LinkedIn page. But the best way to get all of the information is thebirdbath.io. And for more on these and other stories, join us by subscribing to our Substack. There's a link in the bio. And don't miss out on any episodes by subscribing and rating the show. For The Bird Bath, I'm Ryan Leach. See you next week.